We love this place. This was my first victory, right? This was our first victory. Remember that beautiful primary that we had? And Trump came in and Trump won this incredible, great state. And it was off to the races, right? Off to the races. So I want to thank you. And hello, New Hampshire. It's great to be with you on this beautiful day. Oh, this beautiful day. 9 days from now, we are going to win this state. Can you believe 9 days? And we're going to win 4 more great years in the White House. We're going to keep it going. This is the most important election in the history of our country, the most important election. And I never thought I'd say it after what we went through with the last one 4 years ago. This is a more important election because we're fighting people that we've got to end it. We've got to end the fight. We've got to put them down. We've got to end the fight. Our country will never be a socialist country. We have to end the fight once and for all. For the last half century, sleepy Joe Biden has been outsourcing your jobs, opening your borders, and sacrificing American blood and treasure in the endless, horrible, ridiculous foreign wars. Afghanistan, 19 years. 19 years. He voted for the war in Iraq, but for himself, did you know today? You know what happened, right? He put the lid on. You know what the lid is? He's constantly putting the lid on. Constantly putting the lid on. The lid means, I guess it's referring to a garbage can, right? You put the lid. And he's putting the lid on. This guy has more lids. I don't know. There's something going on. Somebody said it's strategy. It's not, because really strategy would be coming out. And by the way, a lot of things are happening lately. Have you been noticing? Have you been noticing? I just was asking some people to go back to the fake news and go to the back of the plane. A lot of people up there, a lot of cameras. And I was saying, and I wish those cameras would show behind the cameras. There are thousands of people there, thousands of people there, and thousands of people outside on the street. Thousands. There are thousands of people outside, but have you been noticing what's been happening? People know we've done a great job. What's going to happen? This is going to be as exciting, maybe, I don't know, you can't say more exciting. You remember that beautiful night in November 4 years ago, right? Well, I don't think this one will be as close. I don't think this is going to be as close. Thank you. Thank you. No, that's a chant. In all fairness, I said, has anyone in the history of politics, think about it, Ronald Reagan was popular, but they never had that chant. That is a chant. I won't even say it because I don't want to cry. But Ronald Reagan never had that chant. Nobody's ever had that chant. And you see what we go through. It's a tough thing. The swamp is deep and it's vicious. These people are vicious. These people don't report the truth. It's very hard. They don't report the truth. So, for instance, I asked them, would you please turn the cameras around? They don't do that. They never do. They have this shot all the time. I don't have that big an ego. I don't want that shot. They have this shot. You know what they show? They show myself and about 5 people back there. And on occasion, some of the people back there become big stars because they are on camera. But they never move the camera, and I used to think it was the way it is. You know, you couldn't move it. Mechanically, you couldn't do it. And then all of a sudden, we don't see that anymore. I shouldn't say it, but we don't see it anymore. They used to have little fights, right? Little problem. And the camera used to turn like a pretzel to catch it because they viewed that as a bad thing, right? A bad thing. And that camera would turn around, that steel would turn like there's nothing to it, but they never show the crowds. But you know what? They don't show Biden's crowd when 7 people show up. And you know what? They don't show Barack Hussein Obama. He came out to campaign 2 days ago. Right? And they had 42 people. He drew flies. Did you ever hear the expression? Obama drew flies. But they don't show that. But we want them to show our crowds because there's never been anybody, and this is us as a group, anybody, any group, any movement that's ever gotten the kind of crowds that we have. And I was told about New Hampshire. I understand New Hampshire. I have a lot of friends that live up here, but I understand New Hampshire. I was told in New Hampshire, you can't have big crowds. You have to go to everybody's dining room and have dinner with them. This was even as I was campaigning, you know, I said, I'm sorry, it just doesn't work. You got to get together and all. And, you know, you have guys that have nothing much to do. They're politicians, and they'll go and have dinner with 2 or 3 people every night, and they'll do this for years. And then they come in, you know, 7th in the primary or something. I said, no, we got to do this. And we've been doing this from the beginning. You have the good arena that holds a lot of people, and we pack that all the time. But now with the COVID, what we do, and, you know, they keep talking about cases. You know why we have cases so much? Because that's all we do is test. If we cut our testing down in half, they'd say, well, they wouldn't say that, but cases would go down in half. Now we have the best test, and we are coming around. We're rounding the turn. We have the vaccines. We have everything. We're rounding the turn. Even without the vaccines, we're rounding the turn. It's going to be over. And you know who got it? I did. Can you believe it? Every time I'd have these meetings, a lot of people, because I can't put myself in a basement for the next year and a half, okay? I can't do it. No, I can't. Or I can't go to a beautiful bedroom in the White House and lock myself up for a year and a half. You're president. You have to do your job. And I'd have meetings, and I'd leave meetings. And I'd leave a meeting, and I'd say, that wasn't good. You know, there are a lot of people, and there's a lot of love in the rooms a lot of times. A lot of times there's no love at all, just the opposite. But I'd say, that might not be good, but you got to do your job. And I went, and what they do is incredible. The doctors are incredible, and especially when you're president, because you have more doctors. I mean, I think I don't know if I could ever get used to this again, going back to a normal where you actually have one doctor. You have a doctor for every single part of your body. Sure. And they want to touch you, too. They want to grab you. They, sir, I'm a specialist in this. Could I check this? I said, I'd prefer not. But, you know, I didn't feel good. And wonderful doctors. Sean, White House doctors, terrific. They're all really talented people. But I had 12 of them, literally 12. Johns Hopkins. I had doctors from the best schools and best hospitals in the world, because you're president, right? And I said, I'm not feeling too good, fellas. What are we going to do here? And the following morning, I took something called Regeneron. The following morning, I felt so good. I felt like Superman. I wanted to get back. I didn't want to cancel anything. No, we didn't want to be canceled. We didn't want to be canceling a lot of things, right? We didn't want to say, I'm going to take the next like Biden. I mean, I don't know what the hell's wrong with him. He never goes anywhere. And when he does, it's Delaware. Now, I like Delaware, too, but, you know, he just wants to stay right next to that house. He feels very uncomfortable. Yesterday, he did some kind of a crazy rally with the horns, right? And then the camera made a terrible mistake. The guy's going to get fired, I'm sure. Because the camera turned around and there was nobody there. And then he got very agitated, right? You saw that. Because you know who was there? Our people were there, right? And they were screaming, and he can't think too well. He was having a hard time. And he got very angry. And Obama got angry, too, because he went out someplace, and it was all our people. And today they're having this incredible rally on Long Island. You know, what's happened to New York is so sad with the crime. Democrat run. Only Democrat run. Where you have Democrat run, you have problems. You have crime. It's all closed up in many cases. Locked down. By the way, you have an excellent governor here, right? You have an excellent governor. Can I say that? Good. Sometimes I'll say that and people don't like it, but you do. You have a good governor, good guy. And he's with us, and the family is good, and his father's great. His father, I'd see that name, Sununu, I say, man, he was brutal. He was tough. And once we won, there was nobody better than him. There was nobody rougher, and there was nobody better. But it's a good family. They really are. They've done a good job, and you're open up, and you're doing business, and here we are. Here we are. But Biden has the lid on again. It's really, I guess he figures if he keeps the lid on, he's not going to make a stupid statement. He made one yesterday. Yesterday he said, I'm getting tired of smart people. No, you got to like smart people. Right? He said that. Then he said something much worse, right? He talked about the fact that we have the most corrupt. He didn't mean that. He didn't mean that, but I think maybe we'll put a clip up. We have a new deal. If we like people, oh, there it is. See that little screen? That costs a lot of money. And if we like you, like we do the great state of New Hampshire, if we like you like we do New Hampshire, we put that up. And we have a couple of little clips like he's against Social Security, little things like that. How about his oil comment? And I said, it took all the way to the end. He was doing okay. I wouldn't say it was Winston Churchill, but he was doing all right. He was getting through it, and then all of a sudden it came out, the oil, and he wants to transition. He wants to transition. I said, okay, are you listening, Texas? Are you listening, Pennsylvania? Actually, are you listening? You know why? Because your bills, because of New York, you have the highest energy bills in the country. New Hampshire, all of New England, because they won't allow, we're going to do it anyway, but they won't allow a pipeline to go through New York up to New England. You know that, right? And because of that, and all it would do is cause jobs, because upstate New York has been an economic disaster under Cuomo. And people are leaving. But think of it, a pipeline that nobody would see way underground would reduce your energy costs by 50, 60, 70%. And Governor Cuomo won't allow it. So we're having a little bit of a dispute. And this should have been done years ago. I get stuck with everything. I get stuck. But we'll get it done. We'll get it done. If we do that, we can get your energy costs down 50, 60%. So it means a lot to everybody. Sleepy Joe, and they are going to, are you turning the cameras around? Could I ask you to turn? Because you have never seen, people don't even believe it. People don't even, look at him. Look at him. People don't even believe it. I only get disappointed because, honestly, the media, the fake news, is too close to me. If they were further back, we'd get more people up here, my people. I'm saying this to my representatives. If they move that back, they have magnifying lenses that are very good. If you move them back, you could have people, they wouldn't be blocked out by the fake news. Our lives are blocked out by the fake news, right? But Sleepy Joe voted for NAFTA, which was the worst thing that ever happened to your state and all of New England more than any place. Your factories are still, some of them, empty. And China's entry into the World Trade Organization. He shuttered your factories, shipped away your industries, and he allowed deadly drugs. One thing I learned more than any other place, New Hampshire drugs. For some reason, you get hit harder than anybody else. We brought it down 19%. We took it down. Now, we got set back because when the plague came in, all of a sudden we're looking at different things. But we got it down 19%. I met with your police. We went to the precincts. For some reason, your drug problem, opioids, everything else, is greater than most other states proportionately. And we focused very hard in New Hampshire. We got it down 19%, coming down. It's coming down further. Had a setback when the plague came in from China. But we got it down to 19, and we're going to get it down a hell of a lot lower than 19 before we're finished, believe me. And he allowed drugs, deadly drugs, really deadly drugs, opioids and fentanyl to pour across our borders and flood into your schools and your towns and communities, and more in New Hampshire proportionately, as I said, than any other place. In 2016, you voted to fire the depraved political establishment. And you elected an outsider as your president who is finally putting America first. This is not the crowd that comes in second, okay? You know, when you leave, it's like a poll, right? Except much more accurate. When you leave a place like this where you have thousands and thousands of people and more people than all of this outside, unfortunately, can't get in, which I feel badly about. We put speakers out there, but they can't get in. But when you leave, you say, this is not a state where you're going to come in second. It's just not, because come in second. If Joe came in, even if he came in that beautiful Air Force One, is that beautiful? You know, I'll tell you quick. We have plenty of time today, right? Like, is there any football game? We don't watch football as much anymore, right? Until they stand and honor our country, we don't care. Until they honor that. But, you know, when I first came in, I said, how old is Air Force One? Now, we have the greatest people in the world in our military. They're incredible. Look at the condition. That plane looks like it's 2 days old, right? But it's 30 years. Can you believe it? So I said, so what's going on? Well, they're negotiating with one, and they signed a contract for $5.7 billion. It's actually 2 planes. People don't realize this. Air Force One is 2 planes, okay? You always have 2. You're very spoiled when you have this job. I guess they figure if it's ever a little bit off or a little broken, you just rip out the second one for $2.5 billion. But it's a most incredible machine. So anyway, I said, well, but 30 years is a long time. I'm not talking about for me. I'm talking it's a long time, and I'm good at airplanes, okay? Been very good at airplanes. I said, so what's the price? $5.7 billion. I said, you got to be kidding. For 2 airplanes, okay? I have friends, they order a Gulfstream, and they pay $78 million. I said, half of an engine costs more than that. So 5.7, so I said, I met with the head of Boeing, good man, and I said, this is the first week. I said, we're not going to buy it. Signed contract, all done. $5.7 billion. I said, too much money. We're not buying it. They said, why do you say it's too much? I said, because Obama agreed to it, so it has to be too much. It's the only thing. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know anything about it. But I knew if they were buying it, it was too much money. So I said, nope, I'm not going to do it. I said, cancel the order. So I went to a general. I said, General, I want to cancel the order. Yes, sir. And I said, why can't we keep using this 30 years, sir? And he's right. You know, look, you know, planes would come in from especially other countries, but from Arab countries. And it would be a brand new, what's called a 747-800. That's brand new right off the thing. It's actually a much different plane. It's much longer. It's got a much bigger wingspan. You wouldn't believe it. See the top the way it is? It's a much longer top. I hope you people are interested in this. But no, isn't this better than being on a teleprompter, right? So, no, but see the front. It's got its second floor is much longer. It's as beautiful as that is. It's far more beautiful, bigger, more impressive, more everything, and it's the right thing. So I said, so General, it's a signed contract. I want to terminate the contract. Yes, sir. I said, by the way, you can terminate it, no problem, right? Yes, sir. I'm very proud of it, sir. Good. You don't have to pay anything, do you? Yes, sir, we have a termination fee. Oh. How much is the termination fee, General? Sir, we pay $250 million that we're allowed to terminate the contract. It's $5.7 billion. So for $250 million, I said, wait a minute, General, wait. They haven't built it yet. They haven't even started it yet. We have to pay $250 million to terminate the contract. I don't like that deal, General. General, don't terminate it, because I want to get it. But I don't want to pay $250, and so just don't terminate it. Just tell them we don't want it. Yes, sir, so he told them. Then I told him, I said, nope, I don't want it. And we negotiated for about a month. And I said to the head of Boeing, really good guy, I said, hey, Dennis, look, it's 5.7. It's got to have a 3 in front of it. Now, I don't know anything about them. And it's very, very special what they have in this plane. They don't have in any plane in the world, okay? This is incredible, the kind of equipment. The equipment costs more than the plane. So I said, no, Dennis, it has to have a 3 in front of it.